Hi, my name is Savannah Kelly. I am a student physical therapist, and today I'm going to be doing the goniometry of the lower extremity with my friend Selena. Is it okay if I record this video for educational purposes?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to start with Selena in the seated position with her hands on the table to support herself. We're going to do some hip motions first. So I'm going to place a towel under the distal thigh. And we're going to begin with hip internal rotation. So her foot is going to go out. And I'm going to place the goniometer and align everything properly. The midline of the leg. And stabilize the distal thigh. And would you please bring your foot out to internally rotate the hip. And hold there. And we have 35 degrees of hip internal rotation. And now we're going to go the opposite way. So we're going to bring the lower leg in with the same landmarks. I'm going to stabilize the distal thigh again. And would you please bring your leg in? Okay. And we have 35 degrees of hip external rotation as well. So in the seated position, we're also going to measure some ankle motions. So, sorry, on the lateral side of the left ankle. And we're going to start in a 90-degree position. So I'm going to make sure she's in that 90-degree position to start with the proper landmarks. And we're going to do ankle dorsiflexion first, so bringing your toes up towards your nose, please. And we have 14 degrees of ankle dorsiflexion, and we'll return back to 90. And now we're going to do the reverse, so plantar flexion, bring your toes down to the ground. And here we have 40 degrees of plantar flexion. So we have two more motions at the ankle, and they are inversion and eversion. So the border of the foot is going to go in and out. We're going to start with inversion. So this side of your foot is going to go in. I'm going to align the goniometer and also stabilize the lower leg so it's just the ankle moving. And would you bring your foot in, please? Okay. And we have 28 degrees of ankle inversion, and we'll return back to start position, same position and stabilization. Would you bring your foot out, please? Okay. And we have 17 degrees of ankle eversion. So now we are going to switch positions into a supine position. So you're going to lie flat on your back, please. And we're going to measure motions at the hip, starting with hip flexion. So I'm going to align the goniometer, finding the greater trochanter. All right, and this action is just going to be you bringing your knee to your chest. So would you please bring your knee up towards your chest? And I'm going to realign the goniometer. And we have 105 degrees of hip flexion, making sure she didn't rotate at all either. And now we have hip abduction. So we're going to take this measurement from an over top view. We're going to start with hip abduction. So your leg is going to go out. I'm going to align the goniometer and stationary arms. All right. And would you please bring your leg out to the side as much as you possibly can? All right. And we have 45 degrees of hip abduction. And we'll bring your leg back in. And we're going to take the measurements of hip abduction now. So we're going to start with this leg out slightly. And we're going to measure this hip. Again, same landmarks. Okay, and would you please bring this leg towards the other? And we have 33 degrees of hip adduction. Now we have knee flexion. So I'm going to ask you to bring your knee to your chest again, but we're going to take the measurements at the knee. So we're going to start extended. And I'm just going to place this bolster under your legs, so easier for myself for the access. So, okay. And now would you bring your leg up to your chest, please? Okay. And we have 50, oh gosh, not 50. We have 117 degrees of knee flexion. All right. And now we're going to do the reverse. So knee extension, starting with the same landmarks. I'm going to ask you to bring the knee closer to the table. So you're going to kind of push down to the Achilles area and bring your knee into extension. And whenever you are ready, okay. And we had 8 degrees of knee extension. And now we have one last movement. And this is going to be prone, so you're going to flip over onto your stomach, please. It's going to be hip extension, so the same landmarks for hip flexion. And finding the greater trochanter. Okay. And would you please bring your heel towards the ceiling? Okay. And we have 26 degrees of hip extension.